Welcome to Ecstatic Yoga. I am Grace. Welcome to our floor practice with some hip openers in this practice. We're going to focus on the hip openers. And our focus this week is mindfulness focuses on the breath, and our philosophy Kriya focus is the satya, truthfulness of the 8 limbs of yoga. And we're focusing really on being true to ourselves. So as we go through this practice, the invitation is that you honor your body and be really true to your body, yourself, true to one another, and focusing on that ultimate truth of what you are as this infinite spiritual being, a non-physical being, this true identity. And so let's begin. We're going to be doing a little pranayama today as well. And this week we are focusing on the basics. So we're focusing on belly breathing, the abdominal diaphragmatic breath, the 3-part yogic breath, where we breathe into the belly, the ribs, and then the chest. And we're going to drop down that way. We're going to do a couple variations. And mindful breathing, just breath awareness. And we might add in a little nadi shodhana as well. We're keeping it simple this week. These are the breath works we're focusing on. And so let's begin our practice, finding a nice, comfortable seat wherever you may be. Just feel those sits bones on the earth and get comfortable in your seated position. You can take a little cushion and put it right very back of that sacrum area, just so the hips level off, if that feels more comfortable for you. And begin by drawing the attention inward, closing the eyes, and bring the focus on that breath, just some mindful breath awareness. The invitation is to drop the breath down to the belly. That's how we're retraining our body and our brain. Just noticing the breath. Noticing the rhythm of our own breath. Beautiful job. And then let's bring that breath into the belly, up to the ribs, and then up to the chest. So we're inhaling using this entire frontal cavity here, even the clavicular area. Let's pause at the top, gauge the bandhas. Let's do a few where we just release the breath on the exhale. Belly, ribs, and chest. Pausing at the top as you engage those bandhas. And release. Inhaling the belly. Let it move up like a wave through the ribs and the chest. Pausing at the top, gauging the bandhas, and release. I'm going to do a couple more where we're going to release down, chest, ribs to belly. We're going to do it both ways. So inhaling your 3-part yogic breath like a wave. Belly, ribs, and chest. And again, pausing at the top. And then as you exhale, exhaling the chest, the ribs, and finally the belly. We'll do it 2 more times. On your own. And reversing the exhale, chest, ribs, and finally that belly. And 1 more time. And taking a few breaths as you integrate in breath awareness, bringing that breath to the lower abdomen, natural way of breathing. Witnessing the breath and how your body feels as it breathes, fully present to the body and self. And we're going to finish up this short little pranayama with nadi shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, and we use the Vishnu mudra. So we're going to take the pointer and the middle finger, and you can either curl them in, because we're using the thumb and the ring finger to close off the nostrils alternately, or you can extend them up and have that pointer in the middle on the third eye, and then close off the nostrils with the thumb. And you can either use the pinky or the middle ring finger. And so find your which feels better for you on the head. And we're going to be alternating in the nostrils. So we're always going to be switching sides on the exhale. I'm going to guide you through the first few breaths, and then I'm going to let you do a few on your own. So I'm going to curl it in so you can see me a little bit better. And I'm going to take the thumb and I'm going to close off this nostril, the thumb. Exhale out the other side. Inhale, same side. And switching at the exhale, so releasing the thumb, bringing the finger down to close off that nostril, and exhaling over on the thumb side. Inhaling, same side. And switching. Exhaling over on the other side, closing it off with the thumb. Inhaling, same side. Inhale and switch, and continue on your own, always switching on that exhale. Engage those bandhas. One more breath on each side. And your final exhale, just releasing the hand and moving into mindful breath awareness. Letting that breath integrate, finding your natural rhythm, being the witness, the observer. And then releasing the breath, feeling concentration, and taking this moment to scan the inner being. Notice what it feels like to be you inside, what it feels like to you, for you in your physical body. Your energy body. And diving into pratyahara, noticing the inner aliveness, the inner sensations, the emotional energies, without making anything right or wrong or good or bad or even putting titles or labels or descriptions, just basking in the sensations. It's the neutral witness and observer. And then taking this moment to set an intention for yourself. And seeing the visions of it, stating it always in the positive and present tense, and feeling the emotions, the emotional benefits that you truly wish to receive. And releasing that intention with a this or better, this or better. And gently and kindly opening up your eyes. And you can remove that cushion if you like. And get onto the mat. We're going to be staying on the floor. It's a floor practice. And we just begin to rock back and forth. Simple poses to warm up. Moving into some cat and cow. And a seated. Some flexion and extension here in our cow, and flexion in our cat. Even back. Moving that spine. Keeping it healthy, keeping yourself young and beautiful. Keeping that breath flowing into the belly. Remembering If you ever need to take a break, you're always welcome to stop at any time. If you ever move into pain, always back off. And we invite you to kind of play your edge at about a 7 with a rubber band. Don't want to be at the 10 where we might snap some muscles and when we're forcing and pushing ourselves too hard. And we're not going to do loosey-goosey by sitting on the couch eating potato chips. So we're at a nice 7 for the practice. And let's do a nice gentle twist. I'm going to bring my right hand to the left leg. The left hand is right behind the left buttocks. Inhale as I lengthen. And exhale, nice twist as you gaze over that left shoulder. And with every inhale, you're going to lengthen the spine and extend. And on the exhale, a nice gentle twist. See if you can go a little bit deeper without forcing. And one more breath. And go to the other side. The left hand on the right knee, right hand is back behind the buttocks. And we're going to again take 3 deep breaths. So inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, twist, gazing over the right shoulder. And 2 more on your own. Beautiful. Coming back. Good job. We're going to bring those feet together. Nice little Baddha Konasana butterfly pose. And as you bring the feet together, you can kind of open them up a little like a book. Give them a little massage. We're always practicing self-love and self-care for ourselves. And Satya, being true to ourselves, is one of the greatest ways we can practice self-love. Now, wrapping the hands around the feet, and let's flap those butterfly wings nice and gently. Opening up those hips, warming them up a little bit. And engage those bandhas. Always breathing down into the belly. And relaxing those angel wings. And then bring in those legs. A line of energy as the legs are coming down towards the earth. Now, I see some people, they may be up here, but they're bringing it down towards the earth. So wherever you are is perfectly fine. We never compare in yoga. We want to be bringing the legs towards the earth, wherever that is for you. And we're going to inhale as we lengthen the spine. And exhale, beginning to hinge forward. And your hips say, that's about my edge, that's 7. Just going to rest here. Engage the bandhas and take a nice deep breath. One more deep inhale. And then on the exhale, see if you can hinge just a micro bit deeper without forcing or pushing or striving. And then when you're at your edge, you bring the hands down, go a little deeper stretch, come down to your forearms. We'll just take a few breaths here and find where you are. And maybe up like this, could be up like this, could be down lower. Everyone's different. Just honoring where you are and taking a few breaths, relaxing in this forward fold, going inward. Your next inhale coming up. Good job. And we are going to, let's go into a reclined butterfly while we're right here. We can just gently come down. onto our arms. Further, and resting in this nice reclined butterfly. You rest here, just enjoying this sensation in your body. Allowing everything to be as it is. One more breath. Beautiful job. And we're going to come back up onto the forearms. Use the hands to push yourself up. And we're going to move into a nice little forward fold here. Extend my left leg, my right foot is resting in on the inner thigh of the left leg. Inhaling as we lengthen. And exhale, hinging forward. And find your edge again here. You could rest on the edge with a breath. Deep inhale. And on that exhale, see if you can hinge just a micro movement deeper. You get to that final edge, allow the spine to round. And you can bring the head in towards the knee. And I love to massage the foot in this pose. Just give yourself some love. What feels really good for you. You do a little flexion and extension. Feeling the beautiful sensations. Engage that Mula Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. And your next inhale coming all the way out. We'll switch legs. So we're going to inhale as we lengthen. Exhale, hinging at the hip. Find that edge. Nice deep inhale. And exhale, see if we can hinge in the hip a little deeper before we round the spine. Beautiful. Now we can round the spine. Bringing the head in towards the extended leg. And massage that foot. What feels good for you? You know. And coming up. Oh, a little flexion and extension. I'm sorry. Let's do a little flexion and extension of the foot before we come up. And just maybe taking a couple breaths in the pose and relaxation. And on the next inhale, coming all the way up. Beautiful job. All right, so we are going to move into a hero's pose. And this is a real nice hip opener. And we're going to come up onto our knees. Now you can use a block or not on this. If we use a block, that kind of helps the hips if they're tight. So we can sit on that block in hero's pose, can bring knees together, and then the legs are coming out. And this is a hero's pose, Virasana. If you want to try it without the block, it's a little bit more challenging. You come all the way down onto the earth, and then your legs are out to the side. You're not on your legs at all. And so we'll just take a few breaths in this pose, just sitting in this pose, the spine straight. You can hold a hand mudra if you like. Engage those bandhas and breathe. And one more breath here. Beautiful. Gently and kindly opening your eyes. Coming up, and so we're going to come up onto the knees here. We're going to move into a fire log. No, we're going to move into frog, Mandukasana. We'll do fire log next. So we're going to take those knees a little more than hip width apart, a little further than hip width, and then we're going to take the feet out a little further than the legs. So the lower legs and the feet are a little wider outside of the legs, flexing the feet. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring the hips back. So find your edge and just see if you can come back a little bit. You feel that in the hips, the different sensation. And when you get to that edge, take in a couple breaths. One more breath here. And then coming back forward and releasing those legs. And let's move into a little squat right here. And then we'll move into fire log. So you come up onto the feet. Depending on your flexibility, those heels may be up off the earth or down on the earth. And we're going to bring the hands right between the knees. I like when we do squats to take the hands between the knees in prayer pose and press those legs out with your elbows. It's a nice stretch for the inner thighs. Engaging those bandhas and breathe. Feeling the body, sensations, fully present. One more breath. Beautiful. And we'll come back to a seated position. We'll move into, I started to tell you we do a nice fire log. So I have to keep my promise. So let's bring both legs out wide. And we're going to take this left leg, I'm going to bring it in, try to bring it as aligned with the mat as possible. And then I'm going to take this, the right leg, what we're going to do is we're going to stack the ankles and the knees as best we can. So I'm going to take this right leg and bring that ankle up onto that right knee. And then this ankle and knee are stacked. And there's a little space for me here. You can use a block or that may be too much of a cushion for this space, or you can just let it kind of hang. I just kind of like to let it hang. We're going to flex the feet. Feel that, huh? Inhale as we lengthen. And then exhale, hinging forward. And find your gentle edge. Feel that. And when you've got that edge, engage the bandhas and breathe. Noticing the sensations in the hips and the body. Fully present. One more breath. Coming back up to center. And so we are going to go to the other side so we can balance ourselves off. We're going to take this right leg and I'm going to bring it in and aligning it with the front of the mat best that I can. And we're going to stack those ankles and knees. Again, a little more space on this side. I'm not quite as flexible on that side. You can put that cushion in there. I like to actually not have something so that like eventually this keeps dropping down and be more and more flexible. Flexing those feet, nice and flexed. Inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, folding forward. And then find your edge. Your hips will tell you. These are some nice hip openers. Nice hip opener floor flow. And engage the bandhas and breathe. One more breath. And inhale coming up. Beautiful job. And let's release those legs. And we're going to move into a table pose. So in our table pose, your hands, you can spread those fingers a little spider grip. The wrists are underneath the shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips, hip width apart. We'll move into some cat and cow. So inhaling into cow as you arch that back with the tailbone. And exhaling, you tuck the tailbone under, round the back like a Halloween cat. Inhaling into cow. And exhaling into cow. And doing a couple more on your own. And then doing a little variations, adding some spontaneous movements. Maybe when you're in your cat, you can bring your hips back. You can even make some circles with your hips. Now you can wag that tail. This feels really good. Really present in your body. Maybe back and forth, little pots. Just enjoy being in your body and moving. One more on each side. Adding some spontaneous movements. And it feels good to you. Keeping that breath flowing. And coming back to center. Beautiful job. There's all over the place today, sorry. So we are going to go into a nice little lunge. So I'm going to take that right foot up. We're going to bring it in between the hands. And we're going to bring it a little bit forward so my hands are not going to be quite under the shoulders for the lunge. And I'm going to sink those hips down. So you're really going to feel it here in this left hip. Feeling a nice hip opener. You can rest on this. Make some subtle movements. Keeping that breath flowing. Using your Jaya breath or breathing through your nose. We're going to extend that leg forward. A nice stretch. On the back of the right leg muscles. And flex and extend that foot for more sensation. Nice. Deep breaths. We'll do one more time here. Nice deep, sinking those hips. A nice opening and a nice stretch. One more time as we lunge back. And then coming back to center. And here we are. And we're going to move into a pigeon. So we really all set up for it. All we need to do is take this front leg, bend that knee, and here we are. They ask sometimes in some of the analytics to have your knee aligned with the front of the mat, but mine is always curved in a little bit. So find what works for your body, and then we want to bring the body so we're in alignment, so we're not flopping down onto that hip. We're going to be active and straight. And just feel this for a moment. You can still feel a nice little stretch in this left hip. Taking a couple breaths here. Pigeon. And then if you'd like, maybe bring the hands down to the earth and find what feels comfortable for you. If you can't come down, you can just stay straight up, and you can actually come all the way down if you like. It's different sensations. I feel this morning on the right hip. And breathe. The next inhale, you all the way out. Beautiful job. We'll move back into our table, right leg back. And we're going to take this left leg forward and move into a nice lunge here. So sinking those hips down towards the earth, feeling that nice hip opening and stretch now on the right side. And any micro movements. And basking in all those beautiful sensations in your body, bringing your awareness to the sensations in your body. If your mind runs off with thoughts, you can just bring yourself back to the sensations in the physical body. And rocking back as you extend that front leg. You can do some flexion and extension. More sensation. Keeping that breath flowing. Do one more time on each side. Lunging forward as you sink that hip into the earth. Moving a little back and forth. Feeling that stretch. Inviting that hips to come towards the earth on that edge, 7. Deep belly breaths, front is engaged. And lunging back, straightening that front leg. Little micro movements, flexing and extending the foot for more sensation. And really sinking in and basking in and enjoying all the sensations in your body. And coming back up to neutral, and we'll move into pigeon on this side. So just take that front leg and knee. and bring it down to the mat. You can get it parallel to the front of the mat, that's great. If not, that's okay too. So now we're not going to want to sink down on this side, so we're going to want to come up to our pigeon, balancing up. And we'll hold a couple breaths. We're holding this pose, taking a few breaths here, and feel that in the hips. One more breath here. And on the exhale, meditation is to come down, find your perfect position, taking 4 more breaths. And on your next inhale, lean back up. And we'll bring that leg back up and move right back up into our table pose. We're going to come out of table. We're just going to be on our knees. And as we're on our knees, we're going to move into Camel Ustrasana. So the first thing we need to do before we move into the back bend in our camel is to tuck that tailbone under a little bit. And this is going to protect these lumbar from crunching. Because if our tailbone's out, crunch, and then we go back, it's not enough space in here. We tuck the tailbone under, and then we move back. There's more space. It protects that lower back. Hands are on the small of the back here. Elbows are coming toward in. We're not jetting them out too much. And we're going to lift the heart and begin to extend back into our camel. And this may be your complete camel. If you'd like to challenge yourself and go a little deeper, I like to come up onto my toes and reach down for the heels from here. It makes it easier. And then what you want to do is bring those hips so they're back over the knees. And feel the hip opening here. And breathe. One more breath. And on the next inhale, coming back up and the hands back to the small of the back. And we're going to move right into child's pose. You can open up those knees, let the belly rest in between the legs. And we'll take a few breaths here in child's pose as we just let our bodies relax and these poses integrate, diving inward. One more breath here. Beautiful. Coming up. And we're going to bring those feet forward of us. And let's do a little balancing bear and a little boat. So I love balancing bear, but best to start it with just one leg at a time. You can just take one leg out and stretch. And then towards you. And you can go over to the other side, hands on the outside of the foot. You can even start by just resting that other foot a little above the mat, or if you need to rest it down on the mat. And just enjoy some movements here. Bring that in. Now, if you'd like, you can try to just bring both out at the same time. If you can't, just continue with one at a time. And pull those legs a little towards you. Engage those bandhas and breathe. You can find a drishti because this is a balance, a spot in front of you that's not moving to gaze your attention at. One more breath here. Beautiful, releasing down. And move into boat. Now boats have a more advanced pose, so you can move into half boat if you're not ready for full boat yet. So move into half boat. Half boat is right here. The beautiful pose, and if you want to just stay here, you can do that. Or if you want to go into the full extension, extending the legs, the arms. Find your drishti and breathe. One more breath. When you're ready, coming back into your half boat. And coming back. And we're going to scoot up towards the front of the mat. If you have enough cushion, I have a carpet and a nice thick mat. You can move into some spinal rocks. If it's not, just come gently down onto your back. I like a few spinal rocks because it activates the kidneys a little right here. So good massage. And then finally coming down onto the mat, laying on your back. Tummy. Beautiful. So we're going to first bring those knees into the chest and rock back and forth, releasing, relaxing that lower back. And bringing those feet down to the mat. We're going to move into a little supine pigeon. So we're on our backs. It's also called four or supine pigeon. So my right knee is going to stay up, right foot on the earth, and I'm going to take the left and rest that left ankle just above the right knee. Then I'm going to bring my hands behind the right hamstring, and I'm going to gently pull that leg in towards the body, feeling a nice hip opener on the left side. And engage those bandhas and breathe. Basking in all the sensations in your body, fully present, fully embodied. One more breath. Beautiful, releasing that leg down. And move to the other side. So my left knee is up. I'm going to rest the right ankle just above my left knee and bring that left leg up and into the body. Engaging your bandhas and breathe. Remember to be at a 7. Little challenge, but we're certainly not moving into any pain or any forcing. Releasing the leg. We're going to move into a little spinal twist. So we're going to take that left leg straight out, come up onto that left side just a little. And then we're going to bend the right knee and bring the right knee over to the left. The left hand is guiding it over. Find your gentle edge, wherever that might be for you. And then taking that right hand out 90 degrees and turning the head to gaze out over the right fingertips. So we're creating a nice twist in the cervical spine, the thoracic, and the lumbar. And nice deep breaths, engaging the bandhas, and enjoy, relax into it. We're cleansing organs, bringing extra blood flow and oxygen into the organs. We're activating, bring a lot of energy into the spine. One more breath here. And releasing the leg. Coming back onto your back. Beautiful job. We're going to go to the other side, bringing that right leg straight out. Coming up gently onto that right side, just an inch. Keep that spine neutral, and then taking that left leg, right hand guiding the left leg over. Left arm out 90 degrees, turning the head to gaze out over the left fingertips. And engage those bandhas and breathe. Basking in the sensations. Fully present. One more breath. And releasing that left leg, coming back to center. And let's bring those knees in towards the body, rocking gently back and forth. Release and relaxing that lower back. And let's bring the feet together in a Supta Baddha Konasana supine butterfly. Grabbing both the feet and gently pulling them in towards the body. Feels so good. Engage those bandhas and breathe. More breath here. Beautiful. And we're going to hold the outside of the feet. And we're going to open them up nice and wide. And if you need a strap for this, you can use a strap. If you can't reach your hands out to the wide edges of your feet, always bring a strap between the arches here. And feel that nice stretch. And do a little rocking back and forth. Beautiful. We're going to keep those legs out for a minute and grab those feet. We're just going to move into baby. Just rolling around, kicking, doing whatever feels really fun and good with our legs, like we did when we were a baby. Finally discovered we had legs, and we could play with those legs and create beautiful sensations for ourselves and just enjoy being in this body without any other thought or attention anywhere else. Beautiful job. And we're going to bring the feet down to the mat, knees are up, and move into some final releases before we go into Savasana. So find those hips. We're going to move into our hula. We're going to drop one hip down towards the heel as the opposite hip comes up towards the armpit. Everything is flat on the earth. The sacrum is flat on the earth. Nothing's lifting up. We're just swiveling these hips and switch so that right is reaching down towards the heel. The left is reaching up towards the armpit. These hips, just swiveling them back and forth. Keeping that breath flowing. Just gently engaged. Releasing and relaxing his lower back. And coming back to center. We move into a couple of hip pointers. So now I'm going to root my right buttocks into the earth, and I'm going to lift and point that left hip up towards the sky. And then releasing it down, rooting the left buttocks into the earth, and I'll point and lift that right buttocks up a little to point that right hip towards the sky. And moving back and forth. A little lift and a twist to release that lower back. Keeping the breath flowing. Basking in sensation. And one more time on either side. Coming back to center. Then we're going to move into a little cat-cow on the earth. Did a little sitting up. We're going to do some standing. We'll start with cat. Pressing that back into the earth, tucking the tailbone under. No space under here because we're pressing it in. Tailbone's tucked in our cat. And then we move into extension in cow. We're going to arch that back up off the earth. Our spine is going to be arched up off the earth. Your back may still be on the earth, or you can have some space under here. Tailbone is pointing down in towards the earth. And moving back and forth into flexion and extension, cat, cow, on your back. And any subtle movements you may need. One more time on each. And coming back to neutral. And we're going to keep those knees up. We're just going to walk these feet to the far edges of the mat. And we're going to drop one knee into the center at a time. Nice and slow, repetitive movements for the releases. We're not moving fast. Noticing all the subtle sensations. Releasing the hips. One more time on each side. And coming back to center. Bring those feet back and bring them all the way together. And then just flopping the knees over to one side or the other. You have a couple options. You can take those knees and windshield wiper them. This last little twist and release. Or you can bring them down together on one side, lift the top knee, Feet are together. Take a moment in between your little Baddha Konasana there, and then bringing that opposite leg all the way over to the other side, and then lifting the top leg, bringing it over, and letting the bottom follow. So find which feels best for you. Adding this final little twist. One more time on each side. And then coming back to neutral. Final little knees to chest. Release and relax that back, and make any other movements you may want to make before we go into our savasana, our relaxation, our final pose. If there's any stretches you need to do, your body feels like it needs, just honoring that. And then getting yourself ready. You may need to get your socks on, a blanket, a bolster under your knees, or something under your head. And find that comfortable position. Start to get nice and comfortable in your body, making any last little adjustments and movements with your body. We're going to start to do some chi exercises, but not now. And just relaxing in, letting your body sink deep in towards the earth. Relaxing all the systems of the body, the bones. Feel them get heavier and sink towards the earth, the whole skeleton. The digestive system. The muscles. Every system of the body deeply relaxed, letting go. We'll enjoy a few moments of silence, and I will bring you back. Taking a nice deep breath into that lower belly. As you gently bring yourself back, you can wiggle the toes and the fingers. You can just stretch out the arms and the legs. Maybe a little yawn. And when you're ready, rolling over to one side or the other. Just be with yourself with this breath, honoring yourself. And then coming up to a seated position. Taking this moment now to check in with yourself. Noticing that energy, still breath awareness. As you check in and scan the physical, the energetic, the sensations, the pratyahara, inner alignments. Even noticing any shifts from the beginning of practice. And bring yourself back to that intention that you set. Seeing that picture, feeling those emotions. Releasing that intention, whether this or better, this or better, this or better. And bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra. I'm going to sing just a short chant for you. Spontaneous chant. Heya kune ke heya 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 kune ke he. Heya kune ke heya 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 kune ke he. Hune heka hea ne ke hea 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 hene ke he. Hune hea hea ke hea kune hea hune ke he. Hea hune ke he. Hea hune ke he. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, light, truth, and peace. When I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, we are one. Namaste. Thank you for joining. Please go to ecstaticyoga.studio for more information on our yoga teacher trainings and retreats. I am Grace, wishing you a most beautiful and most blessed day.